First, let's insert the battery. Then, power it on. This is the main screen showing battery voltage, working current, capacity, power level, and mode. First, we press the settings button. Enter the settings page. The first item is the charging cutoff voltage. The cutoff voltage is based on the battery pack specifications. For example, this 8-cell lithium-ion battery has a single-cell cutoff voltage of 3.65 volts. So the cutoff voltage is 3.65 volts times 8, which we set to 29.2 volts. If it's a ternary lithium battery, multiply 4.2 volts by the number of cells to get the cutoff charging voltage. Charging current. The charging current depends on the battery capacity, which is 20 amp-hours in this case. We usually set the charging current to 20% of the battery capacity. 20% of 20 amp-hours is 4 amps. Press the blinking cursor and rotate it to adjust the charging current, then press again to confirm. Third item. Cutoff charging current, or maintenance current, is usually set to 0.5 amps. Saved voltage is the last charging voltage in cyclic mode. For example, one cycle means charge, discharge, and charge again. For the final charge, we want to set it to the battery pack's nominal voltage of 25.6 volts. If we want to charge it to full voltage, we can set it to 29.2 volts. If we don't want it to charge the last time, we can set it to its cutoff discharge voltage. Fifth item. For the cutoff discharge voltage, the manual states that a single lithium-ion battery's cutoff is 2.5 volts. 2.5 volts multiplied by 8 equals 20 volts. However, in this battery pack, there's a protection board, and each battery discharges differently. Also, the capacity of each battery may not be the same. So, we usually set the cutoff discharge voltage a bit higher, by 1 or 2 volts. In other words, the normal cutoff discharge voltage for this battery pack is theoretically 2.5 volts times 8, which is 20 volts. In reality, after using this battery pack for a while, its cells become imbalanced in voltage or capacity. This can cause the protection board to activate early. So, we generally set the discharge cutoff voltage a bit higher. This doesn't significantly affect the capacity. Depending on the situation, it can be set to 20, 21, 22, or 23 volts. We generally set the discharge current to 50% of the capacity. For our 20Ah battery pack, that's 10A. This is the voltage record, which means that during charging or discharging, if the protection board activates early, what does that mean? For instance, the cutoff voltage for charging is 29.2 volts. When it reaches 28 volts, the protection board disconnects the battery, and it will record that 28 volts. It automatically records and sets that value. It will automatically save that setting. For example, when we set the discharge to 23 volts, it stops discharging. But actually, the protection board disconnects at 25 volts. This means the battery pack protects itself early and automatically sets the 25 volts inside. Generally, it is set to off by default, no need to turn it on. The resting time is usually 1 to 10 minutes for cycling. 1 cycle is charge-discharge, and 2 cycles are charge-discharge-charge. For language options, set to Chinese or English, then save and exit. Note, after returning to the main interface, check if the mode is what we need, like single charging. Just rotate it a bit. This is single charging. We need single discharging, just rotate it once more. We need to cycle to measure capacity, then enter cycling mode, upwards. One more rotation returns to the curve interface, the results page, logging the last test results, charging capacity, watt-hours, time, discharging capacity, watt-hours, time, and the current and voltage curves. Press this button to switch to the discharge, current and voltage curves. One rotation goes back to the main interface. When running the software, set it to cycling mode. Then, check if the charging and discharging parameters we set are correct. If correct, press the start button and it will begin. The current increases slowly and linearly. When testing is complete, it will beep and automatically display the results page, indicating that the test is done.